Welcome to Take Two Radio. We are pleased to bring you interviews with people in the entertainment and music industry, discussions and recaps of the 4 remaining daytime soaps. That's The Bold and the Beautiful, The Young and the Restless, General Hospital, and Days of Our Lives, as well as various other shows. For upcoming and previous shows, check take2radio.com. That's with the number 2. And you can find us on Blog Talk Radio, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and other streaming apps. Follow us on social media at Take Two Radio, and thanks for listening.
Recognize me.
Welcome to the Malliard Report, the fastest hour in paranormal talk radio. Aired live, where the host and guests exchange thoughts and opinions with interaction from the duck pond. And now your host, Jim Malliard.
I want to welcome everybody to the report. I almost said program this evening. I don't know. One of these days I'll actually have that all figured out and sound like somebody who actually has a clue about these things, but it's not tonight. My guest tonight is ILEATA KENLEY. Did I get that close? Yes.
Yeah, it's close. It's close.
Okay.
KENLEY. ILEATA KENLEY.
All right.
Yeah.
So what did I tell you? I'd get the first name right and then butcher the last name because I was so worried about the first name that the last name just kind of...
It doesn't matter. You did a good job.
So excited I got the first part right.
I'm excited to be on. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So let's start with the easy question for the people who aren't familiar with you because they don't hang out in the pond and they should. Give us a little background about who you are.
Well, I'm a paranormal researcher. I've been basically doing this all my life. I actually took some classes with Boyd Artbach, and I've been doing this for, I don't know. Actually, I investigated with the group for like 10 years, and then I just kind of, I don't really investigate anymore, but I look up their history and stuff of different locations, and I like that more than I actually like investigating. But I live in Hastings, Nebraska, and that's about it. I like Nebraska has a really it's I think it's unique because when they issued the Homestead Act, 30% of all the land of Nebraska got homesteaded out to immigrants. So we have people from all over the world, and they brought their cultures, and they brought their religion, and they brought their spirits, and not to mention we have a rich Native American history here. So it's been a challenge to figure out like hauntings and what's going on.
I was going to say that you mentioned doing the research earlier as opposed to doing the investigation part of it. I fail at research, but I do enjoy hearing the stories that come from it more than sitting in the dark for 5-6 hours and then turning around and listening to that same darkness. Well, it's not dark then when you're probably listening to it, but it just gets a little, how do I say this nicely? Because I don't want to offend a whole bunch of investigators that are listening, because I know there's a bunch of them listening. It gets a little tiresome there.
Oh, yeah. I
said it nicely.
Yeah. I don't like to investigate in the dark. I guess I have, and I did with the group and stuff. And we got some good stuff, but I actually prefer during the day where you can see you're not tripping over cords. Well, I haven't figured out why we investigate with the lights out. It seems like it wouldn't matter to ghosts if the lights were on or off. Well, I guess I don't understand why we're doing that. And I think it's probably a product of like the old seances and spooky paranormal shows. It's more scary to investigate in the dark. Yeah. Because I guess it would make a difference, to a ghost whether the lights were on or off.
Yeah, as I say, it doesn't make a difference to them. It shouldn't make a difference to us. And maybe you're the same way. Let's see, but I'm just thinking off the top of my head here. I'm counting on my fingers. Most of my best experiences happen before we got the equipment set up, or B, during the day when I wasn't trying to investigate.
Yeah, well, you know what? If you look at different cases and stuff, most people see these spirits during the day. They'll be like, they'll see them in the cemetery during the day, or a place or stuff, and they're not really seeing them in dark. I mean, most people are sleeping at night, unless you have like a real pesky spirit in your house or something. They're not seeing them. They're not seeing them at night, and then. I tend to more believe the ones that they've seen them with the lights on, and stuff, and yeah.
I think part of that comes from people are paying more hypersensitive to things at night. Less going on around them. Of course, then again, with me, it's my phone's always in my hand. It doesn't matter, day, night. I wonder how that's going to impact us all too.
Yeah, well, if you think about it, if you're investigating at night, you're like losing one of your most valuable senses into your eyes. I mean, because it's like you're blindfolding yourself and trying to investigate.
Since you're into the research thing, you're gonna crack at this one too. It's amazing to me how many people have had readings and then come back and claim to be someone famous. Apparently, when you get reincarnated, it's always someone famous. It's never the guy that shoveled shit anywhere. It's always the king or the princess.
Oh, yeah, or Joan of Arc or something like that, yeah. I always wondered that, too, and stuff. But there has been a lot of... that's why the parapsychologists tend to believe the reincarnated cases of young children more than people just having a hypnotized section and coming back and saying they were Joan of Arc or Jesus or just it seems like kids are more trustworthy actually because they can come up with information that they have no way of knowing before. So
yeah, I was gonna say most of them aren't the famous people either.
Yeah, they're like the World War II pilot. I mean, there was a real famous case with that boy that I don't remember what his name was and stuff, but he died. I mean, he claimed he died in a World War II plane crash, and he described the plane, he described the company he was with, and the unit he was with, and I mean, there's just so much information that, I mean, he was describing at like age 4 years old that there's no way he could not, he could have known that and learned it.
So I guess this is totally unrelated to what we're talking about, but I'm just going to throw it in here because I think it's kind of cool. Sorry. It just hit me, so I'm just going to say it before I forget. If you have Hulu, I don't know if you do or not, if you're even into the streaming things, but the Missing 411 documentary's out there on it. I watched it yesterday. Was it yesterday? I don't know. It was either yesterday or Sunday. Pretty good. I think the books are better, but there we are. And wait a second, this guy's saying a book's better than a movie. Everybody take a pause and realize what I just said. That's
the way it is. It always is, because the book goes into more detail. But I think what you're talking about, the 411 kids, aren't them the people that ended up gone from like national parks?
Yeah, there's some of them that have come up missing from cities and parks, and it's just that is so bizarre. I guess I haven't watched it. I mean, I've heard something about it and stuff, but yeah, that's bizarre. They just disappear. I mean, there's been people walking down the road and they turn around, the person behind them is just gone. Gone. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just, I don't know what you do in that kind of situation.
I guess the original point was, you were mentioning the kid that was talking about World War II. There's a show on either Netflix or Hulu that I was watching. There's a group of people out digging for artifacts from World War II, and I fell asleep, and then I woke up, and they were digging out a helmet out of the ground that still had a skull in it, and I was just like, that's too much. I mean, it's so morbid, but I'm glad they, they found him and was able to get him buried and all this other stuff, but it was just kind of not what I wanted to wake up to, I guess. Just for the record.
Yeah. There's been actual tales around here and stuff, the farmers. Back in the late 1800s here, there was a lot of range wars between the farmers and the ranchers. And, in fact, Lowell, Nebraska, which is about 30 miles from here, has a Boot Hill where, I don't know, it was maybe 25 different people from range wars and stuff are buried and everything. So it's not uncommon for a farmer to dig up something, or Indian bones or rancher bones. So it happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of these things that's, I'm glad they're being found so they could finally have the recognition and peaceful burial they deserved. Kind of a weird, just wish they would never have come up either. I don't know.
Yeah. It would be awful to be tilling your garden and dig up somebody's skull or something. Be like, oh, gone.
Yeah, it's one of those. Okay, well.
Yeah. I don't want it to happen.
Yeah, nothing that I want to be part of, at least.
Yep, exactly.
So, let's see. I got a bunch of questions here. What's the most difficult case or story, well, I guess case story that you came across that you wouldn't mind sharing, I guess, is the easiest point to make to that, too.
Difficult. Well, I mean, oh, geez. I have one with this family, and it's like an ongoing thing with them. I've been working with them for a couple of years now. The whole family has gifts. I mean, that's the reason why they see things in their house. And I have been over there. I've cleansed her house. I've actually took an Abyssinian knife and tried to cut whatever ether ties from the other world. And actually that worked for the gal, and she's not had any more problems. But the rest of the family I've been over to, it's not just one house. It's wherever they live. And so I've been to the multiple family members' houses and stuff, and whatever they have going on, it seems to follow them, and they have problems in every house they go to. But I don't think it's the same spirit. I just think that they attract them, and it's just that it's them. It's not so much the spirit, or whatever that. It might be that they're just seeing into the spirit world, and the spirits have no intention of bothering them, but that since they can see them, they're freaked out. Or they just believe in the stuff so much they're freaked out. I have no idea. It's an ongoing thing. They call me up probably every 3 or 4 months to go over and cleanse their house, and you do feel like something's like in there, and I have done. They've had their house blessed, and it don't seem to work, and it's like all different kinds of things. Well, this poor gal, for example, she when her and her boyfriend or fiance bought this house in town, she wanted to make sure that nobody has died in this house. She had the realtor go look it up and everything else and make sure nobody died in the house, because she wasn't going to, she was hoping to live in a house that she doesn't have to deal with seeing dead people. And it's that bad with them. So they bought this house here in town, and pretty soon they went to go take the trees up that were in the house, around the house and stuff, because they wanted to do different landscaping. And every tree they'd pull up, they'd find this box, and it was bound with beads and everything. And she just let her kids open these boxes and stuff and everything. And then she calls me, probably 6 months later, and says, "Hey, I got all kinds of crazy stuff happening in my house and stuff." And I'm like, okay, I'll go over there and see what's going on and stuff. And I go do the research. Come to find out, there was a Latina family that was there, and they were practicing Santería in the house. And these things are some kind of maybe spirit boxes that she had buried, maybe hoping the ground would take it back or something. I said, whoa, whatever you do, if you find any more of these boxes, don't open them and do not let your kids have them. And stuff. I said, we'll have to, dispose of them. I would put them in the river, let it just wash them away and stuff. But, yeah, it was quite the challenge at her house. And finally, we got her house cleansed and stuff. And then her mom's house starts acting up. So then I go over there. And when I looked up the history of mom's house, come to find out this man in 1922 walked out the back door and hung himself from the porch. Yeah, this guy's he's walking around the house and stuff, and the people that lived there before never had a problem. But I think that these people are just so sensitive that they're seeing this stuff.
Well, I guess that leads me to a question that wasn't even on my radar, but since we're here, we're going to go with it, about house cleansing, and there's something there's something to be said for no matter whatever belief you believe, if it's the Catholic or the Christian or the Native American, whatever kind of blending, blessing or cleansing. I got blending. That was good. Came flying out together.
Yeah.
That you do, it has to match the people's beliefs, and then the people have to and then it has to match people's beliefs, and then people have to believe what you're doing.
You're exactly right.
Because I can march elephants through my house, but if they don't believe that it's going to do a house cleansing, it's not going to do any good.
Yeah. You wouldn't try to go do some Catholic ceremonial to some Native American's house or vice versa. You have to see what their belief system is and stuff. And, actually, when you smudge a house and stuff and everything, there's actual scientific evidence that the smoke actually clears the way, the germs and microbes and everything. So that's probably the reason why they've always, cleansed with smoke and stuff. I mean, if they did it in Scotland, they called it seining and stuff. And even at Belton, we used to run livestock through bonfires and stuff, and the smoke would cleanse the animals as they ran through. And Native Americans used sweetgrass and sage and stuff. And Catholic Church uses frankincense. I mean, exorcism herbs are like angelica, St. John's wort, and frankincense and myrrh. And they use them in exorcisms, to clear the spirits out. So I can't tell you it removes spirits for sure, because actually we don't know what spirits are. I mean, there's no scientific thing says what a spirit is, what a ghost is. They don't know what it is. That's why there's nothing that you have got meters or whatever that can detect it, because they don't know what a ghost is. I have my opinions on what a ghost is. I think it's a conscious ball of energy, but nobody knows it for sure. So that's one thing. These people that sell spirit cleansings and stuff and everything, how can you charge people when you don't even know what it is you're getting rid of?
Yeah, and how can you, what's the, how do I say this? The verification there. That was a nice word for it, that it is actually working.
Yeah, well, research done at the Rhine and in England and stuff, they've been parapsychologists have been researching mediums for well over 100 years. And there's good evidence that, research that animals and humans might be the only thing that actually can detect a spirit and stuff and have some kind of accurate reading. Whether they're having some kind of psychic experience themselves and just picking up on information, that's in the, I don't know, out there, what they call the Akashic records or whatever. I don't know. Or they really are communing with a dead person. But there's really good evidence that they're doing this. And they might be the only actual way to detect a spirit or a ghost. And I think that's, wow. It's kind of amazing, but then there's a lot of frauds out there too. And I guess, they fraud people.
Wait, I'm getting a message from the other side for you. Hold on.
Yeah.
There's an older gentleman, probably smoked, worked hard. He misses you. Okay. Anyways, sorry.
You're right. And there's a lot of people that do them cold readings like that and stuff. I've been to a couple of them, and they're just like, you're just fishing, But then I have met this lady. When I was a kid, my next door neighbor and I, we found a dead fella in the trash can behind the house and stuff, because we lived in Los Angeles, and so they had this big wall, and we had a barrio where low-income housing was behind, and we found a dead fella in the trash. Now, I did not open up the top of the trash can because it's just, I didn't want to see that. But Kathy, she went and opened up the thing, and she seen the guy, and we went and called, our folks called the police. We didn't call the police. It must have been 6 months later. We were in Northridge Mall, and we were just walking, and this one lady, she looked, I don't know, maybe Hungarian or Latino, I don't know. She had a kind of like a Eastern accent, and she come up to Kathy, and she says, and he had one of them names like Jose, Alvar, 3-syllable. I don't remember what it was. She says, he really says thank you and everything for, come to find it, that was the man that was in the trash can. Now, there is absolutely no way that old lady could have known what that man's name was and could have known Kathy was the one that found him. There's no way. And so that was kind of like a wake-up call for me. I was like, whoa, maybe that stuff is real, and because there's no way she could have known that.
Yeah, there's times that make you wonder, and there's times that make you laugh. Speaking of when you were a child, our boy Dave wants me to ask you a whole bunch of questions. So
Okay.
I picked the best of the best. Well, I actually picked the ones that I've seen and wrote them down. He wanted to know about faith and religion as a child, as your formidable years, because you were just talking about how this kind of opened your eyes to things that were not normal. So how did that all play out for you?
Well, my family was Methodist, and I think I've told you before, they were all involved with Masonic Lodge and stuff. But when I went out to Los Angeles and stuff, my sister went to a Southern Baptist church. Well, then I went to Southern Baptist church too, and wow, they were out there. They had me burning my Led Zeppelin records because you played them backwards, and they said something about the devil, and everything was devil this and devil that, and demons.
Time out. I need a time out. Has anybody played this show backwards, and there's any demonic messages in this? Anyways, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So it was, no. And when they told me, I was probably about 15 years old, and we were in there, and this I don't know, he's probably youth pastor or whatever. He was going on about Mother Teresa's in hell, Gandhi's in hell. All these people were supposedly in hell that have done nothing but good in their life. I'm like, no, that wasn't the way I was brought up. I mean, I might have been. The Masonic way teaches you that God is God, and God wouldn't have put Gandhi in hell and Mother Teresa in hell just because they didn't like the faction of religion they belonged to. They were good people, and it's good works that matter. It's who you are that matters, not how you believe. Anyway, that's the way that's the way I believe now. I believe, if you're a good person and stuff, then that's good. That's the proper way to believe. Not get all wrapped up in dogma, I guess.
Yeah, it's easy to do. Get lost in what people think you should believe and how you should dress and anything that you have an idea for.
You see it in politics now. I mean, it's like, wow. It doesn't matter if somebody had a good idea or not. It's just like they're on the opposite team, and I'm going to hate them.
Sometimes I wish politics would play the game of making somebody think it was their idea. Because you've dealt with kids, and if it's their idea, they're all for it. Now, if it's your idea, it's a bad idea. But if it comes up, they had the idea, it's okay.
I know. I can understand the Democrats this time around. I mean, not to offend anybody, but it's like if they would have just buttered up Trump, he probably would have given him everything that he wanted. If they would have been nice to him. But it's like, oh no, he's on the opposite team, and it seems like if they all tried to get along, they'd accomplish something instead of all this ding-gone fighting. And then they stir up everybody else. It's like, and it's not just it's not just one side. It's both sides. It's like, wow, they just stir the pot.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. They could say the sky. I'm waiting for one side to say the sky is blue, just because.
Yeah. And then the other one to argue with it.
Just because I can't wait for that on C-SPAN. That'd be just absolutely great.
Yeah, you're completely right.
That's when we know we have no hope of anything important coming out of Washington, D.C., when they start arguing about what color the sky is.
Oh, yeah, and then CNN will have, like, a 7-day program on and have all their scientists on there and everything. It's like, oh, Lord.
Because, there's some guy out there that'll be like, yeah, it's really red.
Oh, yeah, they'll argue.
Yeah,
it's like this, like the flat earth thing and stuff. And no. Why would they think that there's a flat earth? I just don't understand their thinking there. I guess I've flown overseas, and I guess you can see the curvature of the earth, when you're flying.
Yeah, I was not even remotely that close to being up that high. And see, I'm not sure it's exactly truly round, but there is some roundness to it. Now, it's not flat. I can tell you that for sure.
No, it's not flat. It's like whatever they would think that. I don't know.
Because if it's flat, why don't I see New York City? Because those 30-some story buildings, I should be able to see them from here.
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, anybody that shoots a weapon, I guess I shouldn't talk about that now, but
go ahead.
You have to adjust for the drop and everything, and if it was just flat, it'd just keep on going, and stuff. So I mean, yeah, well, I don't know where they get the flat Earth.
Well, somebody said it was a campaign to create misinformation, which I'm starting to believe.
It might be, but some people just, you see it with like people on the orb camp or whatever. They really believe this stuff, and it's like a religion to them. And if you try to tell them anything different, my God, it's like you're crushing their world. They get all wound up that this is what they know, and nothing else matters.
Well, well, you mentioned religion in this format, and then somebody sent me a direct message the other day on Twitter with a link to John Oliver, who's kind of satire news kind of deal, and he was talking about televangelists, and as you can imagine, it wasn't necessarily pretty, because it's not necessarily pretty what they do, and let's just leave that aside. Just go ahead and send that $5 to me, and I'll make sure to burn it just for you, just as fast as one of those guys. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, TV preachers get me going, too. That one lady with the pink hair, it was like, why would they put that lady on TV? She'd scare most people away from religion and stuff. And then I come to find out that she took all this money from people, and she had a trailer that she used to drive around for dogs, and wow. It's like, and they couldn't figure out that this lady was scamming them.
In this day and age, it's kind of repulsive to me that somebody sends any of these people money, but I don't know. To each their own, it's their money.
Yeah, that's true. I just get mad when it's the elderly, and it's like, my uncle, he donated to, like, them televangelists on TV and stuff and everything, because he thought, his eyes were going, so he thought maybe God would heal his eyes or whatever, but I don't know. They're just not my favorite people.
They'll heal his checkbook for them.
Yeah, they did. I think my aunt put a stop to it before it got too crazy.
I'll have to send you the link to that because you'll appreciate it in the same way I did.
Well, just like down there in Houston, where what's his name?
Oh, Joel Osteen.
Yeah, he wouldn't open his church, or what was that about? It was like, you milked that money from all them people and you won't open your church?
Meanwhile, right down the street's a master store, and he's got like 1,000 people hanging out.
Yeah. So I'm just like, I don't know.
So, smooth radio transition coming in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk about witches.
Okay.
When did you start getting fascinated by that? I mean, obviously you have some tie to that.
Oh, I've always known I've been related to Margaret Scott since I was a little kid, because 5 generations of my family are buried at Freewater Cemetery, and Elvira Scott Field is buried there. And I can remember going with my grandmother out to the cemetery, and we would go set out flowers for Memorial Day, because my grandma, it was a really big thing, and I still do it to this day, is you go clean all the stones, and you set the flowers out, and you take care of the family. And she would walk by Elvira Scott Field's grave, and she goes, she was related to a witch. But she would whisper it really low like that. And I'm like, Grandma, everybody's dead here. It's like, but she would whisper it. And so she would never tell me how she was related to the witch, or what witch she was related to and stuff. But when I got older, I looked it up and stuff, and then I found out I was related to Margaret Scott. And then I went ahead and I did the Associated Daughters of Early American Witches. I did that. It's a heritage group, a lineage group. And I had to document every generation. I documented birth, death, and marriage and children on 10 generations. And I sent it in, and they put it through their genealogists and stuff and everything. And then I got it, because I was like number 651, I think, and stuff. And I think now they have about 1,000 members. But it was started in like 1982. And they're all like, we're all direct descendants of early accused American witches or executed. And Margaret Scott was executed September 22nd, 1692 in Salem. And she was probably the oldest. They credit Rebecca Nurse with it, but actually Margaret was almost like 75 years old. And
What a life at that point, by the way, especially in 1692.
Oh, yeah. She had been widowed for almost 20 years, and she lived in Raleigh, Massachusetts, and her one son, Benjamin, and his wife lived there, and which in Raleigh, Massachusetts, the Benjamin Scott House still stands. And so I used to think, well, one of the papers I read about Margaret, that she was poor, and then I looked at that house, and that house now is worth like $500,000. It was not no poor people's house. So they weren't poor. I don't know what Margaret did. Maybe she was, I don't know. I don't know what she did that them people ended up hating her. She could have very well started being senile, at 75 years old. Could have had Alzheimer's. She could have pissed off the Puritans because it's hard telling.
Sounds like something I would do.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't hard to piss off the Puritans and stuff. The Puritans were not nice people. I mean, if you read what they did to the Quakers, they would tackle Quakers down and banished in their heads and stuff because they didn't want the Quakers in their towns. And they were very intolerant. They were, I shouldn't joke about it, but I was like, they're like the terrorists of nowadays.
I was just thinking that. I'm like, boy, I'm glad religion has come so. Never mind. I can't even say that.
Yeah. All it has to do is religion's fine, but being a fanatic about religion is probably not fine. And it's like these people get all wound up on that stuff. I think a lot of like demon possessions and stuff has to do with people getting really wound up on religion, and they start. I believe people can manifest their own fears. So I mean, if they get all wound up on this stuff, and they think demons are getting them and stuff, pretty soon they're going to start seeing demons.
I think that has to be true, because even if they're not wound up on religion, there are those people out there who want. Yeah. I'm not even going to finish that thought because you know where I'm at. They just want that moment of seeing. Okay, I'm going to read this right off the big screen on the video side. Have you ever seen any evil clowns out there in Nebraska?
No, but I kicked Ronald McDonald in the nuts once. I don't like clowns. I absolutely hate them and stuff, and I always have hated them. And this was some kind of like anniversary for McDonald's or whatever, and I was out in California, and we went to walk in McDonald's, and they had a Ronald McDonald there, and the first thing he does is go and he just grabs me. I kicked him in the nuts. I was like, oh, my aunt, I got sent home. Yeah. She wasn't happy.
Somewhere on my webpage over at mallard.com, I believe there's a picture of me and Chuck E. Cheese. Now, originally, my son was supposed to be in this picture. He isn't. He isn't anywhere in the frame of this picture. And you'll notice there's a bunch of kids, a bunch of adults, and me and Chuck E. Cheese, and he isn't anywhere to be found. He's under a table, like in... He said, oh, yeah, we could do that. We get up there, gone, like... And there's me and this Chuck E. Cheese smiling because I thought, we're getting a picture. And, well, we got a picture.
You didn't like clowns?
Well, this is Chuck E. Cheese. He's a big rat.
Oh, and he don't like Chuck E. Cheese, huh?
He was all about it until we got, squared away to get the picture. Because, with all these kids, you got to wait for a few things. And sure, we'll do that. And then moment comes, gone.
Oh, my daughter was terrified of the Easter Bunny. But then... she loved Freddy Krueger. We were at the local mall, and we went by Video Kingdom, and they had a Freddy Krueger out there. And this is like when she was like 5, and she's like, Freddie! And she grabs him and hangs on to him. I'm like having to drag my child off this child killer and stuff. And then Easter Bunny, she's terrified of him. It was like abuse trying to get a picture. I was like, you're kidding me, right? But I guess you're my child, so I can understand. And it's like, well, I guess we'll hire Freddy Krueger for Easter Bunny next year.
Something weird. That's okay.
Yeah, kids. They yeah, wow.
You've just got to take everything with a grain of salt and smile and be glad. So.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I know you've been writing a little bit. Are you? Guess I should don't turn the question around on me because my book's never going to get done. Oh wait, are you thinking about?
I'm working on it. In fact, Dave, Germantown runner, he's been amazing. He's like, I went to college for swine science, not writing. I can tell you the parts of a pig, but I can't tell you. Yeah, I have good stories, but I'm not a writer, and thank God he is, and stuff. So we're trying. We're gonna put out a book and stuff. We're like moving the balls forward. But I have quite a few stories after so many years. I think I have like 10 of them that I've put together. 10 or 11. That I put together real good that I wanna publish from Nebraska Hauntings.
So I'm never really good on promotion because I don't want people to know too much, but I've got 3 dates here that obviously I want to promote right now because we just mentioned Dave. November 14th, he's going to be guest hosting the show, I guess, asking me.
That'll be good.
Asking me the questions. So.
You'll be in the hot seat.
Yeah, I find this more better. That's good. That's really good. Somebody probably loves that one. Than doing an interview on somebody else's show. My listeners get to hear it. They want to hear me. It's all good. November 7th is the annual prediction show because I don't wait until the end of the year. I give my predictions a full 2 months before the year even's over for next year. Get ahead of all that. And then Tuesday the 31st. Yes, I finally have a show on Halloween, and I'm trying to book a guest that, well, we'll see. It might be trick or treat. We'll see if I can get it all together. Have you ever researched any true crime incidents that resulted in a ghost haunting?
Oh, yeah. There's been, well, actually, the one I asked your help on and stuff is one of the famous, not famous, but one of the more, like, notable hauntings in Nebraska is at Spring Ranch in down Clay Center. And this mob in 1885 hung a brother and sister from the bridge, and for really no particular reason other than they hated them. And I couldn't, and I'm like, okay, none of this makes sense. So I've like had to tear it all apart and stuff. And that's why I was asking you about the Masons, because some of these people that hung this brother and sister were Masons. And the brother, Tom Jones, he was a Mason. Well, I'm not sure if he was a Masons or he was a Goodfellows, but he has the compass and square on his tombstone, but there's no G in it. So I'm thinking he was an maybe Oddfellows member. But I'm wondering, that's kind of like big taboo to hang another Mason. It's like taboo to even testify against another Mason in court. And when these lynchers, they did arrest like 5 of the lynchers in court. 85 people testified on the prosecution's side against them. The defense, not one person testified for defense. They offered no evidence, and that judge, he dismissed that court case. And that cemetery down there, yeah, it's really like haunted. I mean, everybody I've ever talked to, that's, yeah. And I've had several experiences down there myself. None of them really attributed to the lynching that took place down there, but I was asking about the names of the people that got lynched were Elizabeth Taylor and Tom Jones, of all people, And I was asking if Elizabeth was there, and I got this older lady's voice, and it was really sad. It was no, and I do think that was probably maybe her mother. Her mother tried to testify in court, but was basically laughed out of court because she only spoke Welsh. They let them people that lynched them go, and they say that there's a curse down there on them and everything, but it's actually one of my favorite haunted little places to go, but I don't go there after night no more because this is Nebraska and most farmers have guns, and sadly that cemetery's been vandalized. So it's a country cemetery, so you better get permission because it's just a ghost town down there, and they don't like people just in their cemetery anymore. I'm glad somebody's watching over it.
Yeah, I was gonna say they'll take care of itself one way or the other.
Yeah. You got to remember, them are their ancestors of the people that lynch people. So, yeah, I wouldn't go messing with them.
Hey, that'd be the ultimate evidence. Somebody ends up lynched in the middle of the cemetery. Yeah,
that would not be good.
It'd be fun.
Stuff. But it has a lot of history down there. And Nebraska has people. Yeah, I mean, the people that come out here in Nebraska, it was a state in 1866. So we just having our 150th anniversary this year. Well, 1867. And the people that come out here, they were Union soldiers, Confederate soldiers, and they brought a lot of these differences out here. And a lot of the fighting between people were fighting between immigrants, fighting between Confederate and Union soldiers, different sides. There was, not all these people were, I want to say honorable, because they really did. If you've ever read the book My Antoinette by Willa Cather and My Antonia, or seen the movie, a lot of people took a real advantage of the immigrants, the Bohemian immigrants and the German immigrants and the Russian immigrants. They charged them like double for the land, and there was a lot of bitter feelings. And people either made it out of here or they didn't make it out here. I mean, there was, in 1879, I think it was, they had a grasshopper, or 1876, they had a grasshopper infestation here, or a plague from, it would be like a biblical plague. But the grasshoppers ate everything, and people were so hungry they were eating the grasshoppers. And there's stories of that. Blizzards, where, people lost their whole family, lost their kids. Epidemics, like at Farwell, Nebraska, there's a cemetery there. It has a mass grave of 100 children that died of diphtheria. And you go there and you feel the sadness. And you can feel it. It's very, it's an isolated place, and and stuff. But you can feel the sadness in them people. They come all the way over here and they lose their whole family. I mean, people lost all their children from diphtheria.
And it's just horrible. I mean, to think about it. I mean, it happened a lot of places, but it's just horrible.
Yeah, well, it's the stories, and I think these types of events leave an imprint, on the place and stuff, and it's neat to investigate. I mean, when you investigate a place, you got to look at there was quite a bit of Russian immigrants here in town. Well, Russians have a total belief. They have a belief system that when they build a house and stuff, they invoke a house spirit called domovai. It's a house fairy. And they really believe in this thing. And I'm not too sure that these things don't exist. I mean, there's a lot of one house I investigated. The lady, she had no idea that Russians owned her house. But yet she reported she's seen a gnome thing. She's seen these little black streaks. She had stuff thrown at her. And all these kinds of different kinds of poltergeist events and stuff. Okay, now when you read about what a domovai is, it's a little gnome-type creature, and it runs around the house black streaks, and it can shape-shift and throw stuff. Exactly what she was describing, and she had no idea that Russians owned her house. So, I mean, I have never seen it, but I can't call her a complete liar when she sees this stuff. So it's interesting. It's always something new. You have Irish immigrants and you have Native American stories like Palmer, Nebraska. That was the site of big giant Skitty Pawnee tribe. They practiced human sacrifice, the Morning Star ritual. Each year they'd ritually sacrifice a woman and then drag her body around the fields and let her bleed out or whatever. Well, then these farmers live up there, and then they're wondering why their place is haunted and stuff. Well, they dug up all these bones and everything. So it's I have some good stories. I'll have to, like I said, I'll get them all in a book and
then we'll talk again about them all. And
oh yeah,
it'll be all fun. Germantown Runners already beat me to the point we're getting ready for our ever popular. I don't know. I like saying these favorite, these things, but we're getting ready to do rapid fire. They're already kind of beating me to it. So, where can people find you?
I'm just at ILEATA. I'm on Twitter. I don't really use Facebook because, I can't deal with everybody.
For the first rapid fire question here is Twitter over Facebook. Dang, fries are done.
Yeah.
Facebook, man, people are so, and they're just. I mean, like I follow a bunch of the same people, and they're so good on Twitter, and then you see their Facebook profile, and you go, "What did you hit, stupid?" Oh yeah,
yeah. My family was fighting on it, and that's when I was the last straw. It's like, I'm not going to listen to this every day, so you guys let me out. You're not on Twitter, so I'm safe there.
Speaking of family, worst gift ever received?
Worst gift I ever received? Probably from my husband, and it was like gift certificates at McDonald's. I was like, what is this? He's like, well, I thought you'd like these $5 coupons. I'm like, no.
Okay, speaking of McDonald's, dinner party of 3 people, dead or alive, that you'd like to have together.
Oh, Dad. Dead or alive. Oh, man. God, that's a really good one and stuff that I'm curious about. There's a lot of them. I wouldn't even know where to begin.
Well, let's start listing them. I won't count.
Okay, John D. I would like to know about John D. I'm related to Sir John Fields, and he actually was tried for witchcraft. I'd like to talk to him too. There's, I think the cult guys from way back when is what I'd be interested in. Maybe Roger Bacon and stuff.
Yeah, nothing wrong with some bacon. I mean, Roger Bacon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Harry, we can't have Jesus, Gandhi, and Hillary in the same room. Jeez, Pete, that'd be bad.
Oh, my God.
Number 1 travel location on your bucket list.
Oh, haunted or just...
Just either or. Regular,
well,
straight up, or haunted?
I want to go to that haunted forest in Romania. I want to see that before that giant circle or whatever. I want to see that for myself. If I had a choice to go see something, I would want to go see Machu Picchu in Peru. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I like all them old, like, ancient sites.
So you mentioned this earlier, kind of. Favorite band?
Oh, my favorite band. Probably Led Zeppelin.
I figured that when you mentioned burning your Led Zeppelin albums, but I just wasn't sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that did it in for me for religion.
Los Angeles or Kansas?
Los Angeles or Kansas?
That was the question.
Yeah, well. Have you ever been to Kerwin, Kansas?
I've never been to Los Angeles either, so I have no input on it.
Yeah. Well, the people in Kerwin, Kansas look out like it remind me of the movie Deliverance. So probably Los Angeles. I'll take the Santa Monica Fricos on Santa Monica Pier any day at Kerwin, Kansas. That was scary.
Your favorite guilty pleasure?
Chocolate.
Dark or milk?
I like dark chocolate. I like them Lindor truffles. I'll eat the whole bag. If I'm given a chance, yeah, just one right after another.
And meanwhile, somebody bought me some of those, and I told them they should have just bought me a Snickers bar.
Oh, really? I just love them things.
See, so I'm not sure. Favorite season of the year?
Oh, fall.
Oh, so we're right there for you, huh?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Jelly or jam? Come on, Harry, we can do better than that. But anyways.
Jam.
Oh, well, this one's good here. Drink of your choice.
Oh, drink of my coffee.
Favorite paranormal?
Yeah, I'm bored. Boring.
No, well, see, I've just started getting into it, so don't worry, I'm catching it. Favorite paranormal TV show?
Probably Dead Files. I like Amy Allen.
So I don't know if it's the people or how the show's produced. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, I like the history that they go through, and so I actually, I know everybody like scoffs about them and everything, but yeah, I kind of like to see what they're gonna try next. If I'm curious because, like I said, we don't know what ghosts are. How can you say they're not detecting them or whatever? But I'm just curious. They're at least trying something. I can't be, like down on them totally about it. But if they're scamming, well, yeah.
So last one of these because I'm going to push you off and tell a little story and get out of here. Favorite film of all time?
Favorite film of all time? Oh, jeez.
Field of Dreams. Oh, wait.
Oh, gosh. I would have to say Excalibur. I like the old Excalibur.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you for coming on, and I'll see you in the chat.
Thanks for having me, Jim. Thanks. I have a good time, and thanks for everybody in the chat room.
They were very good tonight. I'm almost disappointed.
Yeah.
All right. So there's that. Great guest, and she'll be back, guys, once the book gets done. Dave, you're in charge of making sure that gets done. So I sent a Germantown runner, Mr. Dave, that message the other day. When Tom Petty was dead and alive and dead and alive, I sent him a message about a story that I had from when I was in high school that kind of has a Tom Petty theme to it. Peter John, who's been a musician on this show a couple of different times, overheard me saying, it's good to be king, but it's better to be the best. And he made me write it down and sign it for him. And then right before the first visit on the program, he handed it back to me and said, are you living up to it? And, well, I don't think I am, but I think it's we're working on it. It's good to be the king, but it's better to be the best. Think about it.
It's the Mallard Report.
Be a part of the report and help it grow. Share it.
If you're looking
Do you enjoy listening to
The Mallard Report, the fastest hour in paranormal talk radio.
Please visit TMR247.com and listen to past or present reports. Subscription is free, or listen on your favorite app.
Well, we're just going to have to sit back and watch, okay? And when I say watch, don't listen to anybody. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to CNN. Don't listen to the New York Times. Don't listen to the Washington Post. Watch what they do, okay?
The opinions expressed on the Mallard Reports are those of the host and participants. All listeners are advised to make their own decisions.
Get connected with Take Two Radio on Facebook or Twitter at Take Two Radio. For email updates on future shows, follow at Blog Talk Radio. For previous episodes, upcoming guests, and more, visit TakeTwoRadio.com.